Hey guys, my name is Michael. I'm 29 years old, and tonight I'm going to tell you a secret of mine before I go to sleep. I'm sitting in my bedroom right now, lights off except for this cheap desk lamp flickering beside my bed. The hum of my box fan is the only thing keeping my heart from pounding out of my chest as I say this out loud. I don't know if I'm ready to remember every piece of it, but maybe whispering it to you will help me carry it a little lighter tonight. So before you settle in and drift off, take a second to like this video and subscribe, but only if you really want to hear more of what I confess here. And drop a comment with your city and what time it is for you right now. Makes me feel a little less alone, knowing someone out there is wide awake with me. Now turn your lights off, let that gentle fan noise soothe you, and let's start tonight's journey together. I used to sleep like a rock, head hit the pillow, boom, out until the alarm screamed at me the next morning. People envied that about me. Said I could sleep through a hurricane if I wanted. But everything changed last year, the night I heard a knock on my window at 3:17 a.m. That knock still echoes in my head every single night. You'd think after 12 months I'd forget the sound, a soft, polite tap, tap, tap that shouldn't have felt so wrong. But once you know real fear, your brain stamps it into your bones so deep, no amount of whiskey or prayer can wash it out. I was living alone back then, in a ground floor apartment that smelled like damp drywall and cheap beer. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I'd just finished a double shift at the auto shop, grease up to my elbows, back aching, so when I crawled into bed, I didn't even bother locking the window beside my headboard. It was hot. I wanted the breeze more than I wanted safety. Big mistake. At first, I thought I was dreaming. I heard the knock once, then again. Third time, my eyes snapped open, heart slamming so loud I swore it'd wake the whole damn street. I lay there frozen, listening. Tap, tap, tap. I should have called the cops, or at least grabbed the bat I kept under my bed. But curiosity is a poison, and I was too damn stupid to resist a taste. I slid out from under the sheets, careful not to make the old floorboards squeal. The curtains fluttered just enough for me to see a shadow. Tall, thin, wrong. The shape of it made my chest tighten like someone was squeezing my lungs shut. But my feet kept moving, like my body knew I had to see it for myself. I wish to God I hadn't. When I pulled the curtain back, my breath caught in my throat. There he was, a man, or what used to be a man, grinning at me through the glass like he'd known me forever. His skin looked damp, stretched too tight over sharp bones, and his eyes, Christ, his eyes were white. No pupils, no light, just a milky fog staring straight into me. I didn't scream. I don't know why. Maybe my brain short-circuited. Maybe part of me thought it was a prank. But when he pressed his cracked lips to the glass and mouthed something I couldn't hear, I stumbled back and tripped over my own damn feet. The knock came again. Tap, tap, tap. But now it was faster, desperate, like he wanted inside so bad he'd crawl through my veins if the window didn't open. I did what any fool would do. I ran to the front door, threw it open, and bolted into the street in my boxers and bare feet. My neighbor, old Mrs. Carter, flicked on her porch light when she heard me yelling. By the time she called the cops, the window was empty. Nothing but my sweaty palm print left on the glass. The police found no footprints, no fingerprints, nothing but my rambling story and the echo of that cursed knocking. You'd think that was the end, a nightmare, a sleepwalker's hallucination. But every night since then, at exactly 3:17 a.m., at exactly 3:17 a.m., I hear it again. Tap, tap, tap. You might be thinking, Michael, just move out. Get away from that window. I did. I left that apartment 3 days after the first knock, packed everything I owned into my rusted pickup, and crashed on my cousin Danny's couch for a month while I hunted for a new place. Guess what? First night in Danny's basement. Guess what time I woke up? Yup, 3:17. And the knocking came, soft but patient, this time on the damn basement window that faced the backyard. I didn't even have the courage to peek. I just lay there, holding my breath, counting every single knock until the sun came up. Danny thought I was losing it. He said I needed therapy, pills, maybe both. He wasn't wrong. But the truth was uglier than that. Whatever knocked that first night hadn't stayed behind. It followed me. I rented a room on the other side of town after Danny kicked me out for scaring his kids. I thought maybe distance would break the pattern. Maybe it was the apartment, the window, the neighborhood. It wasn't. First night, I tried sleeping with a Bible under my pillow. Not that I was ever a church guy, but fear makes believers of us all, right? Didn't help. 3:17, tap, tap, tap. I started recording myself while I slept. Cheap old phone camera propped on my nightstand, aimed at the window. Next morning, I watched the footage with my heart crawling up my throat. The screen was black, but the microphone caught it clear as day. The knocking, steady and polite, right on schedule. I'm gonna say something now that'll sound insane. Hell, I hate hearing it in my own head. But I swear to you, as I sit here whispering this, the knocking isn't just at my window anymore. 2 weeks ago, I crashed at a cheap motel off Highway 9, one of those places where the vending machine has expired candy and the receptionist looks half dead behind the desk. I bolted the door, closed the blinds, turned up the TV loud enough to drown out my thoughts. Around 1 a.m., I started drifting off, thinking maybe, just maybe, it was over. Then I heard it, not on the window, not on the door, but inside the room, like knuckles gently tapping on the bathroom mirror. I know you probably want to close this video now. I wouldn't blame you, but you need to hear the rest, because the knocking, God, it's more than sound. It's an invitation. It wants me to open something. A door, a window, myself, hell if I know. But each time I ignore it, it grows bolder. Last week, I woke up with dirt under my fingernails and scratches on my arms. No clue how they got there. I don't remember dreaming, but my sheets smelled like the backyard after rain. Fresh earth, rotten roots. Sometimes I think about letting it in. Just one night, swing that window open, face whatever's waiting with my bare hands. But I'm a coward. I admit it. I'd rather drink myself numb and whisper my confessions into this mic than meet that grin again. Funny thing is, sometimes I wonder if maybe I deserve it, deserve to be haunted. I haven't told you the whole truth yet, not even close. The knocking didn't start because of bad luck or ghosts. It started because of what I did. When I was 17, I made a choice that ruined everything good in my life, and it left someone, something out there, waiting to come back for me. If you're still awake, if you're still listening, I swear I'll tell you what really happened that summer night. But first, do me a favor, lock your windows tonight, especially if you hear 3 soft knocks at 3:17 a.m. I guess if you've stuck around this far, you deserve to know exactly what I did. Maybe if I say it out loud, I'll finally sleep one night without waking up, gasping for air, tasting dirt in my mouth. 17. Dumb. Mean in that way teenagers get when they think the world owes them something. My mom was working double shifts at the diner, my dad was long gone, and I had nothing to do but get in trouble with my best friend, Cole. Cole was fearless. He'd jump from rooftops, steal beer from his uncle's store, break into old houses just to prove he wasn't scared of ghosts. He was the kind of kid you'd hate if you didn't love him so damn much. One night, he dared me to go with him up to the old Sanderson house at the edge of the woods. Everyone in town said it was haunted, like real haunted, not the fake Halloween kind, lights in the attic when no one lived there, voices in the well out back, that kind of haunted. We were drunk, stupid drunk, laughing so hard I nearly pissed myself when we pried the back door open and stumbled inside. The house smelled like mold and rotten wood. Every step made the floor groan like it wanted to swallow us whole. We crept upstairs, shining our cheap flashlights at peeling wallpaper and old family portraits whose eyes seemed to follow us down the hallway. In the attic, we found a trunk, heavy old thing, covered in dust and rat droppings. Cole crowed like a damn rooster when he popped the latch. Inside were papers, handwritten letters, yellowed and crumbling. And under the letters, wrapped in a filthy sheet, was this thing. I don't know how to describe it. It looked like a doll, but not a doll. Small, human-shaped, but its skin was stitched leather, dark and slick. Its eyes were tiny river stones jammed into the sockets, and its mouth was sewn shut with rusty wire. Cole laughed and said we'd found a voodoo relic. I wanted to leave. My skin prickled, my throat dry as sand. But Cole, God bless his reckless soul, picked it up and danced around the attic with it, chanting nonsense like a lunatic. I begged him to put it back. He didn't listen. When we left the house, he stuffed it in my backpack as a joke. I didn't even notice until I got home. That night, I had my first nightmare. The knocking, tap, tap, and tap. Except back then, it was in my head, behind my eyelids, whispering that I'd taken something that wanted to come home. A week later, Cole was dead, found at the bottom of the well behind the Sanderson house. They said he tripped and fell in, broke his neck. No foul play, just bad luck. I wish that were true. After the funeral, I did what any terrified coward would do. I buried that thing, wrapped it in my dad's old flannel, dug a hole behind our garage at 2 a.m, and dumped it in, covered it with rocks and dirt until my hands bled. I thought that was the end. God, I was an idiot. Ever since that night, the knocking follows me, and it wants back what I buried. Or maybe it wants me down there with it, like Cole. Most nights I stay up as long as I can, half drunk, lights on, hoping exhaustion will knock me out before the knocking does. But it always wins. Tonight's no different. It's past midnight now. In a few hours, I'll hear it again. Tap, 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 and I'll squeeze my eyes shut and pray it doesn't find a way inside. I don't know how long I can keep it out or keep myself sane. If you're listening, if you believe me, don't do what I did. Don't dig where you shouldn't, and never take something home that doesn't belong to you. I'm gonna end this part here before I lose my nerve. It's 1:52 a.m. now. I'm still here, whispering to you like you're my last lifeline before the knocking comes. If I stop talking, I swear I'll hear it even sooner. Maybe I'm dragging this out, because as long as I'm confessing, it can't drag me down yet. You ever wonder why some secrets stick to you like tar? You think you can scrub them off, drown them in whiskey or therapy, but they crawl back up your throat when you least expect it. That's this one for me. After I buried that thing behind the garage, I tried to pretend I was normal. Finished high school, got a job changing oil and tires, dated a girl named Erin who smelled like strawberries and smoke. She asked once why I kept waking up screaming. I told her it was just stress. We lasted 6 months before she packed her stuff and left me with nothing but her hair tie on my nightstand and an echo in my bed. Can you blame her? No one wants to lie beside a man who flinches at every creak in the wall. Funny part? The knocking never once came when she was there, like it was polite enough to wait until I was alone. Makes me think sometimes it feeds on solitude, on shame. When Erin left, I tried to dig it up. I thought maybe if I burned it, drowned it, or gave it back to the Sanderson attic, I'd get my sleep back. I waited for a moonless night, grabbed my old shovel, and slipped outside barefoot so my mom wouldn't hear. I dug for hours, my hands blistered raw, dirt under my nails, sweat soaking my shirt. But when I hit the spot, nothing, just cold mud and tangled roots, where I swear I'd left it, gone. The next night, the knocking didn't come at the window. It came at my closet door. Tap, tap, tap. You want to know what real terror is? It's realizing you can't run from something that knows your name, that you carried it home in your stupid backpack and gave it permission to crawl behind your ribs. I know I sound insane. Maybe I am. Maybe this whole confession is just the final meltdown of a man who hasn't slept a full night in over a year. But some part of me still hopes you're out there, listening, and maybe you'll understand. Last month, I met someone who claimed they could help. Father O'Reilly, a retired priest who moonlights as a ghost cleaner, or whatever fancy term he uses to make it sound holy. He listened to me without laughing, just nodded, made that little cross in the air, and handed me a tiny bottle of water that smelled like stale church pews. He said, "Keep this by your bed. When the knocking comes, sprinkle it on the windowsill and pray." I did exactly what he said. First night, nothing. Silence. I slept for 4 hours straight, for the first time since Cole died. When I woke up, I almost cried, almost believed I'd won. Second night, 3:17 a.m., tap, 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 but louder this time, like a drunk uncle pounding on the front door for a place to sleep it off. I threw the holy water at the glass. It sizzled, swear to God, it sizzled like bacon grease. Then silence. For 2 nights, nothing. Third night, I woke up to find the bottle shattered on my nightstand, and the knocking was inside the room again, right behind my head, against the drywall. If you're waiting for me to say I gave up, nah, stubbornness is my worst trait. I called O'Reilly again, begged him to come back. He agreed, but only if I let him stay the whole night to see for himself. He never showed. Instead, I got a call from the sheriff the next morning. They found O'Reilly's car abandoned by the woods behind the old Sanderson place. Driver's door wide open, keys still in the ignition, no sign of him. I knew. Before they said it, I knew where he was. Sometimes when I can't stand the knocking, I press my ear to the wall and listen. Not to the taps, but to the space behind it. I swear I hear digging, fingernails clawing through dirt, working their way back to my side. I'm so damn tired. Tonight, after I finish telling you all this, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna open the window. Maybe I'll end it. Maybe I'll finally see what's been so patient all this time. But before I do, before I decide whether I'm brave enough to face it, I need you to hear everything. I need you to know exactly why I'll never sleep peacefully again. There's one part I've kept from you, the piece that makes my hands shake while I whisper this, and my skin itch like there's dirt under it I'll never scrub clean. It was a week after Cole's funeral. I was drunk, alone, sitting in my backyard with a flashlight and my dad's old .22 rifle across my lap. I thought maybe if I shot the knocking, I'd kill it. That's how twisted my teenage mind was. I sat there staring at the patch of dirt behind the garage where I buried that thing. The ground was still raw, brown scars in the moonlight, and I swear to you, as I took a swig from my dad's hidden stash of cheap bourbon, I heard crying. Not a raccoon or a cat. A voice, small, wet, crying under the dirt like a baby. I should have run. I should have screamed for my mom or called the sheriff or just thrown myself into the well with Cole. But I didn't. Instead, I dropped the bottle, got on my knees, and dug with my bare hands until I felt cloth. When I pulled it up, it was heavier than before. The same stitched leather skin, the same stone eyes, but this time its mouth wasn't wired shut anymore. It gaped open like a wound, and inside I saw teeth. Tiny yellow teeth, rows of them like a shark's mouth. It moved in my hands, just a twitch, but enough to make my vision spin and my stomach heave into the grass. I wanted to throw it back into the hole, to crush it with a brick, but my hands, they wouldn't let go. That's when I heard the voice, not out loud, inside my skull, scraping behind my eardrums. Feed me. Just 2 words, but they broke something in me. My hands closed around its head, and I squeezed until the skin split. A black, tar-thick fluid oozed onto my wrists, burning cold like dry ice. I fell backwards, choking on bile, and that's the last thing I remember before my mom found me at sunrise, curled up in the dirt, mumbling about a mouth that wouldn't shut up. She thought I'd had a breakdown over Cole, sent me to counseling I never attended. Nobody believed a word I said. So I locked that memory in the back of my skull and threw away the key. But secrets don't stay buried. Not forever. A month ago, I woke up with that same dirt smell on my sheets. This time, my fingertips were black with something like oil. I traced the trail across my bedroom carpet all the way to the closet door. Inside, empty, except for fresh claw marks on the back wall, as if something tried to tunnel out from behind the drywall. That's when I knew. It never really stayed buried. It's always been with me, inside the walls, the windows, under the floorboards, waiting for me to listen. I tried moving again. Different town, different state. 3 towns in 6 months. Every time I unpack my clothes, I find tiny muddy footprints on the closet floor or a damp patch under my bed that smells like rain and rot. I'm tired of pretending I'm not scared. I'm terrified. I'm talking to you right now because tonight is the last night I'm pretending I'm stronger than this thing. They say the truth sets you free, but they never tell you what freedom costs. For me, it's peace, sleep, love, everything good. I know what it wants now. It doesn't just want a place in the dirt. It wants a place in me. And every time I ignore it, it crawls deeper. I've talked too long. My fan is rattling louder than usual, and I can feel the temperature drop. That's how it starts. Cold breath against the back of my neck. Then the knocking. I keep a note on my phone, just 3 words. Don't open it. I wrote it drunk one night, so I wouldn't forget. Tonight I might forget. If you're still awake, still listening, do me a favor, remember for me. If I come back here tomorrow, whispering about how it's gone, how I'm finally at peace, don't believe me. Nothing stays buried forever. I know you want to hear the worst part, what I'm most ashamed of, the truth that chews at my insides every night when the knocking gets too loud for whiskey or pills to hush. It's not just that I dug it up, or that I kept it, or even that I lied to everyone about what really happened to Cole. It's that deep down, a piece of me wanted it. You think I'm sick? Maybe I am. But when you grow up feeling like no one gives a damn whether you're alive or dead, when your father leaves and your mother's too tired to look you in the eye, having something, anything, wants you so badly it crawls through walls just to find you, that does something to a boy's head. Cole knew before I did. He always knew I was too weak to say no to temptation. That's why he teased me with it. Hey, Mikey, bet you won't open it. Bet you won't listen to it sing. He thought it was funny, a dare, a game. But when he fell in that well, he wasn't alone. He wasn't pushed exactly. He slipped, screaming my name as he went down. And I just stood there, frozen, clutching that little stitched horror to my chest like it was my only friend. I never told anyone I was there. Never told them. I didn't even try to pull him back up. And since that night, the knocking is my penance. I've tried everything. Exorcists, burning sage until my eyes watered, sleeping in churches until the priest caught me and threw me out. Once I even drove 6 states away, threw my phone in a river, and tried to disappear. The first night in that shitty motel, you know it. 3:17 a.m. Tap, tap, tap. It's patient enough to wait years if it has to. And it loves that I'm telling you this. I can feel it right now, grinning at me from whatever shadow it crawls through. Maybe you think you'd handle this better. Maybe you'd stand tall, crack open that window, spit in its face. Good for you. I thought I was tough too. But fear is a mold. It grows in the cracks you didn't know you had. Right now, my window is open just an inch, just enough for the night air to slip through and kiss my sweaty forehead while I talk to you. I keep glancing at it, wondering if I'm brave enough to slam it shut, or if part of me wants to see that pale grin again. I haven't slept in my bed in weeks. I curl up in this old recliner with the desk lamp buzzing overhead, shotgun by my side like it's going to stop something that doesn't bleed. Joke's on me, huh? A few nights ago, I dozed off, dreamt I was standing in that same backyard hole, but instead of dirt, I was knee-deep in warm black mud that clung to my skin like hands. I could hear Cole's voice calling me from somewhere deep under my feet. Come down here, Mikey. It's warm. It's quiet. No knocking down here. I woke up with mud on my socks. Real mud. It's in the laundry room sink if you don't believe me. So here's where I am now. One man, alone in a house he can't leave, telling strangers online the story of how he invited the devil in because he was too lonely to care. My stomach hurts from cheap beer, my eyes burn from lack of sleep, and my hand is shaking so bad I can barely hold this mic steady. But I'm gonna keep talking, because if I stop, the tapping comes sooner. I hope you're still awake, wherever you are. Drop a comment if you are. Tell me the time. Tell me you're not hearing it too. If this thing can spread, maybe I just doomed you by sharing my secret. Maybe I'm the rotten core, leaking poison into innocent heads through a bedtime story. God help me if that's true. I'm so tired, so damn tired. I can feel it now, closer than ever. The air in this room tastes like wet stone and old leaves, like a basement nobody's opened in 50 years. My fan's spinning so slow, I can hear each blade chopping the air, and underneath that, faint but getting louder. Tap, tap, tap. It's early tonight, not 3:17 yet. Maybe telling you all this woke it up faster. Maybe it's tired of waiting, just like me. I keep staring at my window. The street outside is dead quiet, just a flickering porch light across the road and my neighbor's cat slinking under a car bumper. Everything looks so normal from here, so safe, but I know better. I know that the real horror wears normal like a costume. I've been thinking about the last time I saw Cole's face, not in the well, but in my dreams. He stands there dripping wet, hair plastered to his forehead, lips purple. He looks at me with those same eyes he had when he dared me to open the trunk in the Sanderson attic. Mischief and fear fighting for the same spot in his pupils. He doesn't speak in my dreams. He just points, sometimes at the closet, sometimes at my bed, once at my own chest, like he's telling me where it wants to crawl out. I laugh too much these days. Nervous laughs, ugly ones that crack my dry lips. Sometimes I catch myself giggling at nothing. Just the thought that if anyone heard me right now, they'd call the cops or the men in white coats. Hell, maybe they should. But you, whoever you are, wherever you're curled up right now under your blankets, listening to my broken voice, you get it, don't you? You get that sometimes the truth is worse than any ghost story. Because the truth is, I never really buried it. I buried the evidence, the doll, the stitched leather, and stone eyes. But what crawled inside me that night in the Sanderson attic, that never left. I feel it behind my eyes when I'm too tired to blink. I feel it in my teeth when I grind them so hard in my sleep that my gums bleed. I feel it in my hands when I hold this shotgun and imagine pulling the trigger, not to kill it, but to dig it out of my skull once and for all. Tap, tap, tap. Jesus. It's right behind my head now, in the wall. Sometimes I think about my mother. She died believing her boy just needed a good night's sleep. She never heard the tapping, or maybe she did and chose not to listen. I envy that more than anything. ignorance so deep it's bulletproof. I just want rest, just a single night where I drift off without fear, without dirt on my tongue or cold fingers tugging at my dreams. You think that's too much to ask? I keep looking at the window latch. One little twist, push it up, let the night breathe on my neck. Maybe it'll finally come in. Maybe I'll finally see it without glass between us. Would that be mercy or damnation? I don't know. I can't tell if I'm more afraid of living like this forever or finding out what happens when I stop fighting. My fingers are numb. I can't feel the keys anymore. I'm still here because of you, because you're hearing this. Maybe part of me hopes you'll tell my story if I don't make it through tonight. Maybe you'll warn someone else before they pry open a trunk that should stay locked. If you're still awake, God bless you. Tap, tap, tap. It's my turn now. You're still here? Good. I need you with me for this last stretch. I swear, your breathing on the other side of this mic feels like a lifeline right now. Maybe I'm selfish, dragging you into my nightmare so I don't have to stand in it alone. But it's too late to apologize. It's almost time. I'm staring at my reflection in the window, just my own hollow face and the streetlight behind me. But every few seconds, when my eyes flicker from this screen to the glass, I see it. A flicker of white. A grin that doesn't belong to any living thing. You want to know something I never told anyone? The worst confession yet? I tried to trade it once. 2 years ago, I thought maybe, just maybe, if I found someone lonelier than me, more desperate, I could hand it over like a cursed gift. I met this girl, Tessa, on a forum for insomniacs. She was sweet, too sweet for a broken man like me. She believed my stories, believed every word about the knocking, the stitched thing, the cold dirt under my nails. One night, I invited her over. I wish I could lie and say I just wanted company. But deep down, I wanted her to hear the knocking, to open the window instead of me, to take my burden and carry it away. She stayed the night, curled up on my couch with a blanket I'd never washed. We talked until 2 a.m., laughed about nothing and everything. For a heartbeat, I felt normal again, like maybe I was worth saving. At 3:17, it came. Tap, tap, tap. Her eyes went wide. She whispered, "Is that it?" I nodded. She stood up, trembling but curious. God, humans are so predictable when faced with forbidden things. She touched the window latch. I didn't stop her. When she cracked it open, I swear the air in the room turned syrup thick, heavy with rot and cold. She gasped, staggered back, and slammed it shut again, crying. She looked at me with betrayal burning in her wet eyes. She left before dawn, blocked my number, changed her handle on the forum. I don't blame her. If I were her, I'd have run too. The next week, I got a package in the mail, no return address. Inside was a piece of paper, torn from a notebook, covered in dirt, and 3 words written in shaky black ink. "It's still yours." And taped to the paper, 3 tiny white teeth. Tap, tap, tap. I deserve every ounce of this, every night without sleep, every heartbeat that skips when the shadows move in the corner. You can't trade sin. You can't bury truth. It crawls back, chewing through wood and bone until you admit what you are. And I'm a coward, a man who stood by while his friend died, a man who tried to pass his monster onto an innocent girl, a man who whispers confessions to strangers because saying them to God feels too raw, too late. I wonder if Cole forgives me now. I wonder if he watches from the other side, laughing at how pathetic I've become. Maybe he's the knocking. Maybe the thing in the walls is just my guilt in a mask of flesh and dirt. The only way to find out is to open the window. And I think tonight, I will. I moved closer to the window now, the mic's still on, my laptop perched on the arm of this ugly recliner. My hand is on the latch. It's colder than I expected, metal biting my skin like a promise. It's almost funny, you know? All the nights I swore I'd never open it. All the prayers, the salt lines on the floor, the bottles of holy water I wasted like cheap cologne. And here I am, ready to swing it wide and say, come in, do your worst. Don't judge me too harshly. I'm tired, more tired than you can understand, unless you've lived with something scratching at your walls for years. Sleep becomes a myth, a story other people tell while you sit in the dark, counting your heartbeat until dawn. Part of me wonders if it'll even come in a shape I can understand. Will it look like coal, dripping wet and grinning through broken teeth? Will it be that stitched leather thing, walking on all fours like some lost dog from hell? Or will it just crawl inside me once and for all, nest behind my ribs, hum its knocking against my bones until my heart stops out of mercy? I don't know, and not knowing is worse than dying. I can feel it now, pressed against the glass. It's a pressure you don't forget once you've felt it, like a cold hand cupping the back of your neck while you pretend you're alone. Tap, tap, tap. It's whispering, not with words, more like an idea sliding under my skin. Open up. Let me rest. Rest. God, that word makes me want to cry. That's all I've wanted for so long. Rest from the guilt, from the lies, from the dirt I can never wash off my hands. I keep thinking about my mom's grave. She always believed I was good. My sweet boy, she called me, even when I came home drunk, bleeding, smelling like trouble. I want to believe I was that boy once, before the attic, before the well, before the thing behind the window. If she's watching, maybe she'll forgive me for what I'm about to do. Maybe Cole will too. I'm gripping the latch so tight my knuckles ache. My breath fogs the glass, and for a second, I see a face in the condensation. Not mine. Too pale, too wide-eyed, grinning. I laugh. A sharp, stupid sound that bounces around this empty room like a dying bird. I should say something profound, a final confession worth whispering across the world. But all I've got left is this. If you're out there, still listening, still awake, thank you. You made me feel less alone tonight. You made this easier. I'm opening the window now. Don't follow me. Don't open yours. The latch clicks beneath my thumb. It's softer than I thought it would be, like opening an old music box instead of unleashing something ancient and hungry. A sliver of night air cuts across my face, cold, damp. It smells like the backyard after rain, the same smell I've carried on my skin all these years. For a heartbeat, nothing happens. The streetlight hums. My fan stutters on its dying motor. I hear my own pulse thudding in my ears, so loud it drowns out the world. Then tap, tap, tap. But this time, it's not on the glass. It's on my chest, inside me, like knuckles rapping on my ribs, polite and patient. I breathe out a laugh. I almost say welcome, but the word gets stuck in my throat. Instead, I let it in the only way I know how. I stop resisting. Something brushes my cheek, cold, wet, but gentle as a mother's touch. My vision blurs at the edges. My shoulders drop. For the first time in years, I don't feel heavy with dread. I feel empty, light, like I'm not here at all. My eyes drift to my laptop screen, still recording, still blinking red. I can see my reflection. My mouth is moving, but I don't hear the words. Maybe I'm saying goodbye. Maybe I'm confessing something so deep I can't translate it to sound. I hope you don't hate me for this. I hope you understand. If the knocking finds you next, remember, don't bury it. Don't carry it. Don't open your window. And if you hear someone whispering your name through the dark, pretend you're asleep. Pretend you never heard a thing. What would you do if you were me? Good night, and keep my secret. If you're still here, take a deep breath for me, in and out. Let my voice settle in the quiet parts of your room where the shadows stretch but never quite reach you. You're safe right now. You're safe because you're awake, and nothing can cross the line you draw with your thoughts. Let the tension in your shoulders melt like snow in the sun. Feel your spine sink deeper into your mattress or your chair or whatever corner of the night you've claimed as your own. There's a gentle hum in your ears now. Maybe your fan, maybe your breath. Focus on that. Let it drown the echoes of what you've heard tonight. The knocking stays with me, not with you. Feel the back of your eyelids soften, each blink a step closer to the calm you've earned. There's no window here, no latch waiting for your hand, just you, your heartbeat steady, and the darkness wrapping around you like a warm blanket. Imagine a soft garden under moonlight, wet grass beneath bare feet, the scent of night flowers blooming only for you. In this place, no secrets knock from the other side. There's no dirt under your nails, no cold in your bones, just rest, just the promise of sleep. Stay here as long as you need. Let your last thought be simple. I am safe. I am forgiven. I am free to sleep. And tomorrow, when you wake, you'll remember only the warmth, only the weight lifting from your chest, leaving room for dreams that don't knock at your window. Good night, my friend. Dream well.